Hey, Tony, have you ever been streaking before?
Squeeze me?
Streaking. It's happening.
I'm gonna plead the fifth.
Let's talk about it. There we
Okay.
go. Hey, everybody. Welcome to another episode of Trailside Dukes. Thanks for being here with us. We got some cool stuff to talk about today. We got some Superbowl action, some Carol Corner, and our question of the week. But first, let's talk about streaking.
Well, do tell, Corey.
Well, apparently there was a streaker or two during the Super Bowl, and we've kind of looked into this.
We've researched it.
Yes, about the gentleman that decided to streak. But before we get to that, you wanted to plead the fifth. It's just a simple yes or no question. Have you gone streaking?
I plead the fifth.
Well, I guess if that's what we're doing, I'm going to have to do the same. But
Right.
so tell us a little bit about this guy that was our Super Bowl streaker this last, Super Bowl.
I mean, I would say kind of a character, but I guess if you are gonna streak at an NFL game, a Super Bowl game, right? You're gonna be some type of character. So this guy posts on TikTok that he is a Las Vegas, native.
Right.
So looking through the betting book, whatever, there was a bet on whether or not there will be a streaker at the Super Bowl.
That's a thing, a wager. People can bet on this.
Oh my gosh. Have you ever looked at stuff they wager on? It's amazing.
I know, like points and spread and stuff like that. And then if
it
something
goes way beyond that.
Yeah,
All kinds
every
of
sport's a little
details.
different too, right?
Yep.
Like how many strikes or whatever, right?
Yeah, well, who would have thought that they got a bet on a streaker? But some casino put it out there. So
I like it.
Yep. So he finds out and puts
He put
10,000 on himself. I think
for a
it was
$20,000 wager.
right?
Yeah.
Yeah. So he did that, and then he bought a Super Bowl ticket, which he said cost 10,000, which is true because I was looking at those prices for tickets. So 10,000 for the ticket, 10,000 down on the bet, and he goes to the game. He's like, "Well, I got this. I'm gonna win this bet."
He goes out there.
Goes out there and does it. Now, I don't know if he's quote unquote a streaker if he's not completely naked, because I heard he just had his shirt off. The TV didn't really show.
Yeah.
So I don't know. The casino might have some.
But by the Vegas standards for the casino, he got paid out. So
He got paid out.
it
So
counts,
he
right?
won
A streak's a
20,000.
streak, I guess. I mean, maybe if it's just with your shirt off.
I guess.
I was talking like full blown.
That's the definition of a streaker.
That's what I
always
thought.
know. I know.
Anyways,
So he he's up 10,000, right?
yeah, he spends a night in jail.
Spent the night in jail.
No fee, right? I guess
say
just
much.
stay a night in jail.
Yeah.
Goes back to the casino, gets paid out, makes $10K.
Which,
Wow.
super funny, hilarious, right? This guy could be the smartest guy in the world, but he also put it out on TikTok, right? So,
It's a business model now.
Well, that or does the casino go, wait a second here? Is there some kind of
Can they take that back?
rule of because he's insider trading? You know what I mean?
Well, it's just a tip, I guess. I don't know. But
Whatever.
maybe the casino starts making it where maybe it's just a half a streaker or a full streaker. Maybe you pay out more if it's a full streaker.
Yeah. Do you think the Coeur d'Alene Casino has a bet like that for the Spokane Chiefs games or something?
No, I don't think they do.
You know what I mean? Would you?
Are you thinking you're going to do it now?
Would you climb the glass?
For the Chiefs, the hockey?
Yeah.
No. Oh, no.
Did you have to climb over the glass?
Up and over that? No
and then
way. That's a
land
big
on-
fall.
And then land on ice.
I'm not doing that.
Yeah.
No.
Plus,
No.
I'm having
Even if there was a easy way out on the ice, it still wouldn't be. That's not one you're getting away from, right? There's guys out there that can skate.
Wow, they might hurt you.
Yeah,
Right.
If you had your rollerblades, because you used to talk about how good you were on your rollerblades.
Oh, amazing.
Yeah, you might be okay.
But just the part I'm having a nightmare envisioning you climb over the glass is naked climbing over the
just
glass.
Laying there
there might be some some things,
There would be some streaks on the glass on the way down, and then just I'd look like one of those dead octopuses laying out there on the ice in Detroit.
Around, concussed.
It would be bad.
Yeah. Okay. Warm thoughts.
Well, let's talk about this Super Bowl. Pretty exciting game, actually. I mean, it was a game that most of America wasn't too interested in, right? And a lot of people just didn't care.
I think a lot of people like an offensive, shootout.
Yeah.
But, if you're a defensive guy, it was real interesting. A lot of stops, low scoring game. And, I was really into the X and O's and how they were bottling. Bosa was playing great there for 90% of the game, boxing in Mahomes.
Right, not letting him, sealing off the edge out wide.
Yeah. The way he would hold his guy and kind of
take a peek and make a move, but then
not take an angle.
Counter. Yeah.
Super cool. I mean, and Coach Holgate will love this because he's the D-line coach for Coeur d'Alene.
Okay.
The science of just the D-line, because, the line is where it all happens. And, D linemen, interior linemen, outside linemen, they have different rules. And, there's all kinds of game within the game stuff. And it's incredibly physical.
Yeah.
I was fortunate enough to, when I came back to Coeur d'Alene in 2017, to be assigned the JV D lineman. So I worked with Coach Holgate a lot, which was a ton of fun.
Cool.
He's a really good teacher.
Yeah.
I can, I've never sat in one of his classrooms, but I hear from the kids, good teacher, and it transforms on the football field, which is why Coeur d'Alene has been pretty good in and out, because they have good teachers who are coaches, and they're good teachers as coaches. And,
sure.
And, but yeah, so I learned a lot, and gained a lot of respect for line play. And, you know what I mean? To me, it's almost like, do you remember in those movies of Bruce Lee when he would hit that wooden tree thing and it's got all the posts sticking out?
Oh, yes. Yes.
I always thought dude, you could create some kind of Superman D lineman if he was just able to pop up. Because there's way more hand play than you think, Corey.
Okay.
Way
I didn't know
more
we were
hand play.
doing this, but all right. Okay.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So we could club and rip. There's no pinching of nipples, Corey, in football.
That was a big.
No, stop it. See, I'm gonna go.
Yeah, you're gonna go Bruce Lee on me.
I'm gonna go D-line play on you. But yeah, so and then it comes down to, can the 49ers stop them? And a lot of Niners fans, sports fans have pointed out the fact that they probably screwed up in overtime. They won the coin toss and they took the ball. They probably should have deferred, right? See what Kansas City's going to do.
For the third possession, because it is different in the Super Bowl.
Yeah, you got 2 quarters. You know what I mean? And it's kind of come out that they didn't really know the rules of overtime. And I think that came back to bite them, and not being able to stop Mahomes on those quarterback runs.
Yeah, that was it. I kind of called it before that play started. I watched near the end of the game. I thought, having a ski day would be better than watching that Super Bowl game, but, got to watch the end, and I cut you off. I'm sorry, but I was just saying, hey, that last drive, I'm telling myself, don't let him loose, because he's going to go for one here, and you're going to be so worried about containment of the wideouts and stuff like that, and Kelsey, that he's going to break one loose, and he ends up 35 yards or something like that to put him in position.
And Kelsey made some big catches near the at the end.
Yep.
So Taylor's happy. Why not?
So are a lot of Swifties, I guess, but
Why not? Whatever. Okay.
So one of the things that we were talking about a little bit before we came on here was the overtime, right? Awesome Super Bowl with the overtime. That was kind of cool. I mean, what a great ending to a great game, right?
I agree.
Like you were saying, a good defensive battle. So I posed the question, and this is basically our question of the week.
Are we asking our friends if they would streak?
No, that could be a question of the week, but our question of the week is, what is the greatest overtime game that you've ever witnessed?
Oh.
Do you have one?
Big time.
I have one too.
Yeah. Well, and
I'll let you go first.
For our Dukes crew that, aren't familiar with, obviously I speak highly of the Coeur d'Alene football program. Coached there. My son went through the program. And in 2019, they went to the state championship.
Yep.
I'm not going to even mention who they played because it still hurts.
We don't need to talk about the other team.
Yeah.
We were both there.
Went into double overtime.
Yep.
Just a shootout.
The whole game was a shootout. It was
the final
awesome.
Score was like 56-54 or something like that.
Yep. I think it was in the 50s, lower 50s.
Yeah. I mean, if the Niners-Chiefs game was like that would have just been a mind blower. But for high school football, state championship, it was because everybody, I know you were there, your son's on the team, you know what I mean? And there was quite a few people at that game in Moscow, but it was just a nail biter and
emotional roller coaster. The whole game.
There were so many factors that
but serious overtime.
Coeur d'Alene was so close to, you know what I mean? There were just a few things, and you had them, and when you're that close, and that's it. And just as a football fan, and I've heard it all over, I've heard sports people say one of the greatest high school football games they've ever seen.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, it was insane.
Yeah.
Insane. Heartbreaker for us up here.
Totally.
Right? Totally. That's a good one. That was going to be mine.
I know. As soon as we talked about it,
it's so easy to pick that one over, and I would pick that one over a couple professional sports that I've been to where it goes into overtime.
Yeah.
I've been to overtime hockey games at NHL.
For sure.
I'll just throw one out there that I really enjoyed because I was really into basketball when I was younger. The Bulls were my team. Pretty easy to root for the Bulls, but this was back in the day where every team had good guys, right? Like there was none of this stuff that goes on these days with the money and the movement of the players and free agency. It was like every team had 2 or 3 really solid guys that were the franchise players, basically. So this was a game that went to double overtime.
Is this against Utah?
Over in Seattle. It was it was when the Sonics were still there.
Playoffs?
So no, it wasn't playoffs.
Just a regular game.
It ended up. This was it was a game that we went to. I was a huge Bulls fan, but I also liked the Sonics, being here in the Northwest. So Sonics had Gary Payton, Sean Kemp, Detlef Schrempf, Sam Perkins. The Bulls had all their guys because this was 2 weeks before Michael Jordan came out of retirement, which kind of upset me because I was like, are you kidding me? Like,
no Jordan?
Yep, no Jordan. But Rodman was there, Kukoc,
Croatian.
Pippen, all those guys.
Yeah.
Luke Longley.
Good team.
Steve Kerr.
And it was the Bulls.
Yeah. So Bulls and Sonics double overtime. Sonics end up winning. Perkins hits a 3 right before the end of double overtime. It was just a back and forth game. Just fun to watch all these guys that I enjoyed watching, growing up. So, that was cool. But by far, that high school double overtime in the state championship was
fun.
That's it. Nothing touches it for me emotionally, right?
Sure.
Like just the excitement, everything you were talking about. So.
Yeah.
Awesome.
Fun. Yeah, tell us your best overtime game. Let us know.
Yeah, you can email us at trailsidedukes@gmail.com. There's a lot of good overtime games out there. Let us know which one was yours. Tell us a little story about it.
I think we have a side note on there if you got a streaker story too.
Oh, yeah.
Your best streaking moment. Maybe you can tie it in.
We could throw it in there.
For
sure. I don't think we have enough time to talk about mine that may or may not have happened. But I have a feeling you have too many to try to choose from, so it would take a while. But
way too mature.
Let us
way too mature.
Let us know. Well, you brought it up. You want the fans to share. Maybe you need to share a little bit later.
Read off some stories.
Okay.
Let's hear them.
I like them. Those are always kind of fun.
I agree.
Well, you got a little Carol Corner for us today?
Yeah, baby.
Should we do some Carol Corner?
Let's rock it.
Okay.
for the Saints for football, right? So they've come out with their recruiting class. This probably won't be all because there are some signings there, but February 12th is like, signing day. Come out with all that stuff.
These are some football guys.
Yeah.
Okay.
I know. So I'm not going to have the time, to go through every name, where they're from, but
did you see any that popped out to you?
Oh, totally. What I mean? Totally. And I think every one of these kids, right? Because Carroll's not, Carroll's a type of program where they're looking at character. It's not just take Johnny Athlete who is,
just a stud.
Yeah,
right?
I mean,
on
they're
the field, and that's
they're looking at everything. So
sure,
but real interesting. They got a kiddo from they got Utah. I mean, a lot of Montana. A lot of Montana kids, as it should be. It's a big state.
Ooh, we got another Brown from West Yellowstone.
Yep. You got another.
You like the Browns?
Yeah, they like Browns. You know what I mean? They got a kid from Texas, a few from the Boise area. You know what I mean? A few Washington kiddos. You know what I mean? As you go through here.
We got a Kalispell and a Boise on there.
I know. You got some Twin Falls. I watched that kid. He's a pretty dang good.
You want to throw his name out there for the fans?
Grayson Keys.
Keys.
Fun. Good kid. Okay, so you got some Eagle, Helena.
Got a homeboy from Helena.
Oh, yeah. Let's talk about him. John McDonald.
Yeah?
Yep. Look at this. All-state punter and defensive lineman. We're talking athlete.
Okay.
You know what I mean?
From punter to lineman.
Why not?
Oh, I'm guessing he has a big leg.
I think so. He could do it all. Okay.
6 foot 205. He's about my size.
Some of his quotes in here is Carroll's invested in me. Is invested in me as a person and a player. You know what I mean? This guy's going to be a quality act.
Got 9 Mile Falls just outside of Spokane.
Yep.
Right there.
Yep. Meridian, Boise, Colorado kid, Oregon, Montana, Pocatello, Robert Reed.
Hey.
Gosh, I may have played with his dad. We'll see what happens.
Yeah?
Oh yeah, I played with the Reed. We're gonna have to.
I like how if you guys are into the Carroll team and stuff, we're just kind of looking at the website here. I think one of the cool things that popped out to me, Tony, was every single one of them. They talk a little bit about the guy, just like a short paragraph, but then it also talks about they interviewed each guy and like what they're looking forward to and coming to the program and
why
what
chose
it means
Carroll,
to them. Yeah, why they chose. I think that's really cool that they have those guys and their reasons of coming to the school.
Yep.
There, I think that's great. If you guys have time, check it out on their website.
Super fun. Cody Walk, Boise kid. His brother played for the program. Kid's a stud.
Yeah.
He's 6'5", 230 pounds, tight end. Right? So like,
okay.
I know the family, mom and dad are superstars. That kid's going to be a stud. They got a transfer from Washington State. Great recruiting class. So, you never know, not many freshmen play. We'll see what happens, but fun to see those kids.
Yeah.
Yep.
That's cool. Really neat.
So should we move on to basketball, Corey?
Yeah, let's talk basketball. I was going to ask you, what's going on with that? I mean, the team, looks like the men's team is still doing pretty well, and I'm sure the girls are doing well. I mean, they were off to a great start.
Yep. Let's start with the boys.
Okay.
So 15-9, they're in second place in the conference.
Okay.
Cookie, the man, the legend, is just snarfing it up.
Cookie jar.
Yeah, the cookie jar is getting after it. But as you kind of look at their last few games here, right? They're on a 3-game win streak.
Yeah.
Saturday they beat Montana Western 83-73.
Here we go.
They've got Providence coming up, and this weekend they've got Montana Tech.
Montana Tech game. They lost to Montana Tech last time.
Right. That's their only conference loss.
Okay.
Tech's in first
That'll be a big
place,
one.
so that is a big one.
Let's go, boys.
Yeah.
How about the girls?
The ladies, obviously, having an amazing season, 19-4, first place in the conference.
Let's go, Saints.
I know.
Cool.
They are on a 4-game win streak. Beat Montana Western last weekend and overtime. You know, we were just talking about overtime.
Oh, maybe that's one of the overtime games somebody will write in about.
Could be. Yep.
Sweet.
Beat them. So, yep, they've got Providence and then again Tech. And I'm sure the women's team in Tech is pretty good. So
they beat Tech last time.
Right.
Yep. I remember that.
Yep.
Awesome.
I know.
Go, ladies. There we go. Some basketball left to be played.
Let's go.
Yep. Anything else for the Carroll Corner and the Carroll fans?
Go Saints, baby.
Purple and gold.
Let's go.
Should we move on to I'm Mad?
I agree.
I'm as mad as hell, and I'm not going to take this anymore.
Okay. So what do we have this week? I'm going to let you take it away for this week's I'm Mad.
Yeah.
What are you mad about? I think we're kind of both mad about the same thing, and it's I mean, it's sad that it has to end up being on I'm Mad.
I agree.
I think we need to talk about it.
You know, normally like our I'm Mad is kind of tongue-in-cheek and fun. This one isn't. You know, pretty sad what happened in Kansas City, you know, with the Super Bowl parade. And, you know, it's just like, why stop it? Why? Unbelievable. Yeah. Children are shot. You know, unbelievable.
Yep. I saw it last night when we were, you know, kind of winding down for the evening. I didn't even know it happened until, because I don't really watch too much TV or anything like that. So I wasn't watching news or anything.
Yeah.
I came across it on my phone, and then I was like, "Oh my gosh, this is crazy!" Right? So I'm laughing because Tony's playing with the mic here. Sorry, I'm not laughing at the situation or the content.
Slight
Sorry
ADD
about that
moment,
but
terrible.
Yeah, I was just like, "Are you kidding me?" Like I just don't understand why somebody would do that. I never understand, like with a big crowd, with, you know, a happy celebration, regardless of who won or what the reason is. There's no good reason. Crazy that something like that happens, right?
Weird to be a player, you know what I mean? You're on a float, and this is for what you guys did, and then there's people that died at it. Terrible.
Oh man, just.
Yep. So prayers go out.
Oh, totally.
Thoughts.
Yep.
Yep. I can't imagine.
I read that one of the adults, females that didn't survive, she was a DJ on a local radio station. So, you know, they talked about how much, you know, she'll be missed. A mother of a couple kids there. Yeah. So just horrible.
Yeah.
You know, when you think about sports, I don't ever really think about that. I mean, it kind of crossed my mind in other countries where things get pretty serious with some of the sports, like, you know, soccer. Some of that stuff gets pretty crazy in other countries and stuff. And I'm just like, you know, not even, I mean, it doesn't even have to be at a game. It's just a celebration of what they did. And I don't know.
You know, here's some, I'm going to kind of just like, proud of where I grew up in Calgary, Alberta. So the Flames win the cup in '89, and everybody piles into downtown. In fact, they closed the access in roads to downtown. The only way you could get down there was C train. You know, the subway, above ground subway system. So me and a couple buddies jumped on the C train. We were in 12th grade, right? And springtime, get on the train, go down, and just packed everywhere. But no rioting. There was no, you know, I remember reading in the paper, there was no glass broken, nothing, like no violence, whatever. You know what I mean? And that's how it should be.
Yeah. Well, I mean, you're talking about it, but Canada can get a little crazy and feisty when they lose to the U.S. We saw what happened to Vancouver.
Was there a streaker?
There could have been.
Okay.
Do you remember that one?
Yes.
I mean, fires and all sorts of stuff going on in the
Vancouver's
city,
different
right?
than Calgary.
Is it?
Oh, once you're along the coast, you know what I mean? Yeah, those BC people, they don't know.
Okay.
Right.
Had to do with hockey. That's all I know. And we won. So we meaning the U.S. So.
Right. Well, you guys got to win a few too.
It was nice of you to let us have a win.
Yeah, I know. Okay.
Well, anything else you want to share? I mean, we went through our I'm Mad segment, and we got to end on a happy note, right?
Want to plug some merch?
I love plugging merch.
I
You
got
know
some,
what?
baby.
Look at
Let's
that.
go.
Yeah, if
I
you
kinda
want
dressed
something
it
like
up,
this,
you know what I mean, with the shirt on. You know, you could go out to dinner like with this look.
dude, like you look business casual right now.
I know.
Like we should. Are you taking me to dinner?
Maybe.
Well, hey, if you're a proud Duker, you need to prove it by wearing some Dukes Crew merch, right? Trailside Dukes. Just go down to the links in our description. It's, if you're on the audio version of this, the podcast, you can check on our episode, and we have it in the description there. You can use those links to go to the shops. And if you're on the YouTube channel, just look down below in the description. It's there as well. And you can use those links, and you can look like our main man here, Tony Perka, ready to go to dinner for a little business cash, right? Yeah. So, yeah, if you're a proud Duker, show them.
Giddy up.
All right. Well, that's all the time we have for today. Thanks for being here with us. We appreciate everybody, and have a great day.
Keep your clothes on.